As you can tell from the title of my video, I traded my Jeep for a Land Rover Defender. Now, I know some of you may be surprised, shocked, and even upset, but I assure you that this was a long and thought out decision. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the new Land Rover Defender and show you why I ultimately decided to trade. Before we dive in too deep, let me explain something so you guys don't get too mad at me. I still have the Jeep Rubicon 392. I actually traded this one, my 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, and of course it only had right at 5,999 miles. Now you guys will remember, if you've watched some of my previous videos on the 2023 Grand Cherokee, I've really enjoyed it. It's done great on road trips. It's done everything I've needed it to do, aside from clearing the big wheels and tires that I'd love to put on it. So you'll probably remember trying to clear 35s, which did fit in the back, wouldn't fit in the front, and you'll even remember me putting the 33s on, trying different spacers, trying to find different kits that have a different upper A-arm. There just wasn't many options out there, and I don't believe there are gonna be many options out there even later on down the road. So we're saying goodbye to the Grand Cherokee. Let me go ahead and introduce you guys to my 2020 Land Rover Defender. And yes, it is a 2020. I got it pre-owned, actually got it traded in at my store, and it's only got 18,000 miles on it. Now, a lot of you guys probably don't know much about the Defenders, and I've got to be honest, I don't know much about them either. So just to give you a brief rundown, it does have the 3.0 liter turbocharged, supercharged, and mild hybrid engine. That's a lot to say with one engine. I didn't know you could do it all with one, but they do on the Land Rovers. So that is something pretty cool, and it'll be neat to test out. It does have the full air ride suspension, so we've got the fully adjustable suspension. It is in normal ride height right now. It's got access ride height, and then it's also got an off-road height on it as well. Now this machine came equipped with the all-terrain tires from the factory. It does have the 255/60 R20s, which are okay to be on a stock vehicle. They're definitely not tiny, but they're not too big. Now, one of the biggest things about the Defender is it is a name that was brought back from the past, much like the Bronco was here recently. Now, across the pond, the Defender has a long-standing name, and in all honesty, they seem to be pretty impressive. There's a whole crowd around them, much like there's a Jeep crowd here in the States. I know we need to go ahead and address this color. It is not my favorite color, but to be honest, the way I got it in on trade was a lease. We're not actually a Land Rover store. We were able to buy it out, so I did get it a great deal. So this green color is something I will live with for now. Obviously, we can change that if we decide to keep this vehicle. Now, talking about aftermarket accessories, there seems to be a lot of support for these on the aftermarket side. There are a lot of people overseas that have done some pretty crazy things with these, and they seem to do extremely well off-road. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say that they can keep up with the Rubicons off-road, but I think for what it offers in terms of comfort, convenience, apparently reliability, and off-road capabilities, this is a pretty hard machine to beat. The only other machine that's even in this category that may be comparable, that might be better, would be the G-Wagon, because it tackles the luxury, the class, the ride, and the off-road just as well as this does, if not better. The price point is just not the same. These actually stickered for somewhere in the mid-70s the way this one's equipped from the factory. Now, being that I got it pre-owned, I did get a great deal, so keep that in mind. But I am excited to see what we can actually do with this thing. So just to start on the interior, this thing is worlds apart from what we're used to in the Jeep Wranglers. Of course, we've got a full LCD display there. We've also got a display right here, which is kind of minimal. It's not as big as a lot of the screens on the market now, but it does everything extremely well. You've got a lot of different ways to go about what you need to see. And of course, with it being a Defender, you do have quite a few different off-road modes, and you're able to see those off-road modes here on the screen. You're also able to see your slope assist, so a lot like your things that you see on a Jeep Wrangler. Now, one of the cool parts you'll see down here is, of course, you've got these weird looking climate control things which you push and it'll allow you to access your heated seats and stuff like that. But if you click that button right there, this knob will allow you to control what off-road mode you're in. So you've got mud, ruts, grass, gravel, snow. You've got sand, rock crawl, and we've even got the wade setting here, which is pretty cool. Now, more times than not, you're just supposed to leave it in comfort. If you want to put it in sport, you just put it in sport right here on the actual shifter. So that's pretty neat. It's pretty handy. We've also got our 4-wheel low control right there, so we are able to put this in low range when we want. And we've also got our adjustable ride height right here, which is extremely fast. Now, it also has this feature where it'll do auto exit, so it'll lower all the way down. And if you put it into some of the off-road modes that require it, it will go up into off-road height, which does give you about 4 inches of lift, and it looks pretty cool, and it does it extremely fast. So it does have the Meridian sound system, which is a great sound system. I've always enjoyed them in the past. And as you can tell here, it looks pretty rugged from the inside. There are a lot of features like this, like having the rib nuts and also having the actual door exposed here, a lot like the Jeep Wrangler. So it's not all covered in plastic. It makes it look a little bit more rugged than what you'd expect. Obviously, this is an extremely boxy vehicle, but we've also got the panoramic sunroof, and then you've also got those little skylights right there on each corner, which apparently Land Rover is known for. Also, here in the back, we have our climate controls as well as our heated seat controls for the back. You've also got your vents right here. Then you've got a million different plugs right there, so you can plug up and charge whatever you need to. They've also got chargers built into the back of the seats. Another really cool thing is the pass-through rear view mirror. So if you have a big spare tire on the back, it makes it extremely hard to see out of it. So with this, you can just flip that switch and you can see exactly what's behind you. Of course, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you do get used to it, it is pretty cool. And then, of course, just Land Rover going a little over the top. You do have the memory seats on this side as well as on the passenger side, which I haven't actually seen before. So that is pretty cool. I love the way that this wheel's set up. It's like a synthetic material. It's not actually leather, so it seems like it's actually going to last for quite a while. All this right here is actually soft touch, and apparently this piece here is actually structural, so it's pretty cool. It feels very rugged. You've got a grab handle right there on the side. You've got the grab handle right here too. Then for the passenger side, you have the grab handle on the door, so you've at least got something to hold on to, and you've got your standard one right up there. Then for the back here, this one did not come with the third row, which I was pretty happy about. It does have the rear AC, which is nice. You can throw the dog back here, and you can actually control AC back here as well. I guess this is, I don't even know what this is. I guess it has something to do with the AC or something like that. You can fold those flat, and obviously you can fold them 100% flat, which is pretty helpful. And then of course you've got a little extra storage right here for something. I don't know if something's supposed to be in there or not, but there's nothing in there for now. A really cool feature back here is you are able to adjust the air ride, so you can raise and lower it if you're going to be putting stuff in. As you guys can see right now, it's right there on me, so not very high. And then whenever you raise it up, then whenever I go to raise it back up, it's right there. And I'm going to show you guys how big of a difference that air ride actually makes. Here's another good look at those skylights. Like I said, I really like them. It's just something extremely different. And of course, you have the full swing gate back here with the window actually attached, unlike the Jeep Wrangler. It is a little heavy, but it does have a little bit of assist, so it makes it pretty easy. I do like the look of the spare tire on the back for now while it's stock, but just like my Jeep Wranglers, I'll probably do a spare tire delete whenever we put some bigger wheels and tires on this thing. And I've also been thinking about an exhaust. I don't see many exhausts out there on the market, so we may have to come up with something on our own. Now, before too many of you roast me on this color, we do have some options for at least making this look better. I've thought about blacking that piece out right there. Definitely going to black out those wheels, even if we don't decide to keep them. I'd like to see what they look like black. They are the 20-inch wheels from the factory with the all-terrain tires. We can black out the top, and then aside from that, I believe it would look good if we did black out the hood right here. So with all that, blacking out the front grille and blacking out that ballast, the bumper, whatever you want to call it at the very bottom, I think it would look pretty neat. Let me know what you guys think about that. It's definitely something that I'm looking into right now. I'm gonna show you guys the air ride and show you just how big of an adjustment you can get just from sitting inside the vehicle and pressing a couple buttons. So as you guys can tell, that makes it quite a bit higher, and I'm pretty impressed with it. The air ride rides extremely well on the road, but I'm not too optimistic on what kind of articulation we can get. Now we're gonna run into similar issues as we would with any independent front suspension vehicle. I've got about a couple fingers width on the backside for space. So we'll probably need some spacers or change the wheels if we're wanting to run a bigger set of wheels and tires. We've also got a front mounted intercooler on both sides right there. We may have to relocate to run the tire size that I'm going after, but I think this is going to be exciting, and it'll be a great opportunity to learn some new things about a different side of off-roading. Another cool feature I've just got to show you guys is the cameras in this. The cameras are pretty impressive. You're actually able to move them around and you can see just about everything around you, which is pretty cool. And it will tell you just about everything on the vehicle. It tells you when my brake lights are on, when they're off, getting on the brakes again, and it collects the images of what's actually underneath you and it uses those later. So you can see right here, I'm right next to the line. Then we can go over to the next image and it's actually gathered the information for what's actually under us, which is really, really cool. You can go all the way around the vehicle and it's almost like a live image, as you can tell right there. Now for off-road, you have some different camera angles. So you can see right here, we've actually got directly on the right side, directly on the left side, and what's underneath the vehicle. So that's pretty cool. You can touch this little icon up here and it'll actually go to a different view. So you've still got what's underneath you, what's on the driver's side. And then we've got what's exactly underneath us. It actually gathers the information as you're driving forward and it collects that and uses it for what's under you later, which is really, really cool. You can't say that's not just awesome. You can click around on all these, it'll show you everything. You can go back to your front camera, you can go to this view like it's looking at you with a selfie stick. You can go straight to your backup camera, you can go to your standard backup camera. You've got the angle from the back, you've got everything. It's just so cool. And even though this thing is heavier than a tank and can tow over 7,500 pounds, with that 400 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque, it's still pretty quick. I was honestly impressed, and I'll give you guys a little taste. Still quick, and it doesn't sound horrible. I think with a mild exhaust, it'll sound a lot better. Be sure to let me know what kind of modifications and accessories you guys want to see on this new Land Rover. It's going to be an awesome experience and I'm excited to share it with you guys here on the channel. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. And until next time, Godspeed.